Good evening, Free Enterprise fans. Today we've got our Monday night community race. I am Neon Gray, and I'm joined with me here in the booth by Rex Raoul. Hey, Rex.
Hey, Neon.
Oh, we've got an interesting flag set today. As you can see in the little box there, we've got a lot going on.
Yeah, I think that's the best way to put it. There's a lot here. I mean, just look at all of those words in the middle. Um, they kind of the gist of it is the name of the flag set is "Give Me Half the World." We're doing halvesies on a lot of things. So the first thing is we've got three different objectives. Well, four really, because we need to do the Forge the Crystal, like we did in the league, where we've got the Legend Sword and the Adamant and bring it to Kokol's hut. We also need to defeat the Dark Elf, the Elements, and Dr. Luge in order to get the crystal. So all of those need to be done.
Yes, I'm still not 100% familiar with these flag sets yet. Does this mean, I'm seeing that win crystal, does that mean we win as soon as we get the crystal?
Not quite. The thing is, once you win all those objectives, your reward for winning those objectives is getting the crystal. And then you go to Zeromus and defeat Zeromus.
Yes, there's a lot that's changed in the way flag sets have been written, and as we've seen last week, it is possible to just win once you finish. But no, we're actually gonna have to fight, which is fun.
Yeah, if that last under zero mode said win : game, then you just win the game once you complete all those objectives. But having win crystal means you get the crystal and you use it to transform Zeromus, just like in a classic Final Fantasy IV.
Good times. I also see we've got a lot of other interesting new features going on here. We've got a minimal starter kit, which will give you a few items to get you up off the ground. And we've got the new alternate gauntlet, which is very fun. I've only played with that a little bit, but that replaces the Fabul gauntlet with monsters from the general area where the fight occurs.
Yeah, that's my favorite of the new flags. I'm really excited to see it in a race setting. So hopefully we'll get to see that in action. We also have only half of the chests are going to actually have loot. The other half are going to be empty. And the loot that you get is only going to sell for 1/4 their normal price. So money's going to be stretched a little thin. Looks like our runners are off.
Yeah, and I think we don't have J items today, do we? That's in a different location now.
Yeah, I think we still have J items.
Oh, right, because they're on by default now. Yes, okay. Yeah.
Looks like we got Palom and Sid. This is a pretty strong starting party. And we get the tower key as the item, so that's going to open up the Tower of Babel once we get underground. So that you can complete both objectives in one trip, so that's going to save some time. Right now we're going to see Naming Way, or some relative of Naming Way, explain what needs to be done in order to complete this game.
Yeah, and we're also seeing some an alternative start from Invenerable here. Rather than looting Baron, it looks like he is going to get his free key item from Troya, which should do him very nicely. We'll see right now what we've got here.
Yeah, we've got half of
the
lunch,
like a half
crystal left. That's huge.
Oh, and our new splash screen Naming Way is called Guiding Way. Yay! We're also going to see Invenerable hit up the treasure chest in Troya, which could be interesting with the wildish distribution. But that's kind of a bust with only one of those chest having items.
Yeah, that really is rough. We'll see things like people like kind of nerdy housewife in the upper left go to these hidden chests where she's not able to see what's in there, and so, but she knows what she is. She hits the button and she's like, "Did it actually check the chest?" And going back and forth with all these empty chests, it doesn't give you any sort of indicator that you're actually checking it when it's empty. Especially like pots and the hidden chests become really tough to know whether or not you actually hit the button at the right time, especially if you're trying to go really fast.
Yeah, that is kind of a pain. This is interesting in general, though, just because the way the wildish flag set works, our treasure distribution, it does actually take into account location of the treasure chest now. So a lot of these easy circuits that used to be mainstays, like the Damsian treasury, you may only come away with 250 gold, but part of that is that it's already looted.
Yeah, exactly. So these places like Damsian, Baron, the treasury that Invenerable and kind of nerdy housewife is checking right now are weighted pretty low. If you had the Earth Crystal, you could get into the big treasury. That one's weighted a bit higher. So it kind of depends on what items you get and when you can get to those higher tier items. I mean, technically, you could get a really good item in any chest. It's just a lot less likely.
Yeah, and I think it's still important to do a lot of those quick, easy chests if you've got a lot of them. But,
Oh, yeah, without a doubt, especially to try to get as much money as you can, because as I mentioned earlier, there is a bit of going to be a bit of a tightness in money because of that lack of items and chests, and the fact that they're going to be selling for less as well. One other thing to note is we have 6 unique characters that are available in this seed. We don't know what 6 they are, but there are 6 of them. Now, there are duplicates available, so if the first character that we see, well, I guess if the first character we're going to see is going to be Yang, so it's not going to be a duplicate, but had it been a Sid or Balam, you'd be able to get another one in your party.
Yes, and to answer that question in chat, as far as trap chest goes, the 50% fullness is not affecting the trap chest, because they work differently from regular chests. So
but
they
to get that Yang, the runners are going to have to defeat Wyvern up at the top of Mount Hobbs, and that's going to be tough for any early low-level party, even with a character as strong as Sid at the start.
Yeah, I see we've got a defense sword over in the Antlion Cave, which is very exciting if and only if either Kane or Cecil are in the pool, because that is a very good weapon for Cecil and, debatably Kane's best.
Yeah, depending on the situation, like kind of in general use, I consider it the best. But there are definitely situations where you'd want the Holy or the Dragonlance.
Yeah, that's the big thing. The weaknesses are huge with the other two.
It's like Woobear is now about to face on that Wyvern.
Well, let's see what happens here.
Meanwhile, it looks like the boss at the bottom of the Antlion Cave is going to be Baigan, a lot less difficult than the Wyvern and Mount Hobbs.
Yep, down it goes with just a little bit of work. Well, Woobear takes a reset from that, and nobody blames him. Ooh, that's the crystal sword off of Antlion. And we've seen 50% of the characters available in this seed. None of them are Cecil.
So, to sell or not to sell? That is the question. So you get a lot of money for that crystal sword. Even at a reduced rate, it's still going to be a lot of money.
Yeah, I mean, what I think is really going to depend on is if we see things that people want to buy,
Well, I mean, there's going to be some things that people want, like the Star Veils, Silk Webs, Cure 3s.
Yeah, but are they gonna find them before they need to decide if they're gonna use that sword? Though?
That's a good point too. Now we saw Invenerable do a quick check of the boss in the Octomam spot. Normally we do that to check for demist. With the free item on there, the demist is not going to give us anything. But there still is a reason to do that, since we do need to feed Dr. Luge, the elements, and the dark elf in order to complete this. So checking those boss spots still makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, if it's in one of those easy spots, that's a very nice find, but unfortunately, it's not.
especially since looks like the other featured runners that we've got today haven't checked those items, or checked those locations. So if Inven had found, say, Dr. Luge there, that might give him a big advantage over some of the other runners.
Yep, but unfortunately, it's just a Mylon, and nobody cares about the Mylons.
Nope. I mean, Mylon's the weakest of the elemental archfiends, so no love.
Maybe a zombies care.
Well, it's like kind of every housewife's going to be the first to head up to the moon. Mecha might be right behind her. Gonna get the character check for sure. There's a shop check. Not sure if either of our runners are going to venture to do anything else on the moon at this point, but we'll see. Ooh, Bear picks up his crystal sword from the Antline Cave.
And who is kind of nerdy housewife going to find? Another Quake kid.
That shop that Mecha just checked is kind of a bust. Don't really care about whistles, and the Odin summon is probably not something you want to spend money on in this seed.
Or any seed, really. It's
not that good.
Yeah, it's got some niche uses, but no.
And yeah, kind of nerdy housewife already heading back to the blue planet.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, I'm not sure if they found something like hourglasses yet, or any decent armor. They might be able to take on like the hairdryer chest and the trap chest of the Lunar Pass if they had some decent enough items for that, but I think that would still be a risk at this point. Might be able to one-shot all of the characters.
Yeah, I would not do much up there right now.
Woodbear doing Fabul finds Kainazo as the boss here.
That should be fine. Ooh,
yeah.
Siren on the left, and I don't think I caught that on anyone else. But sirens are not nearly so easy to find these days, so that will be very nice.
Yeah, I'd definitely much rather see Kainazo here in Fabul than in a really nasty spot like down in the Feymarch or some of those deep moon spots.
Yeah, this is fine.
And having Palom who comes pre-equipped with Lit 1 definitely helps.
Yeah, well, Sid can just hit the turtle with a hammer over and over again.
It works at Zelda 3 too, doesn't it?
Hammers are very useful.
Mecha checking out the other boss spot, saw the Baron guards there. Probably don't want to see a free fight like that in the Misty Cave, but what you gonna do? No, kind of nerdy is in the Baigan fight going to get her crystal sword as well. I saw Invenerable go into a weapon shot. I was curious to see if any of the runners would be doing that. I mean, with this Wildish, you might get enough good equipment to deck out your characters without worrying about that, especially with the money issues that might be around, but you might be able to save time if you find a good weapon early in a shop that you can afford.
Yeah, and I mean, doesn't seem to find anything he likes, which, fair enough. And a twin harp from Fabul.
Yeah, we might be getting some music to this.
And away goes that. Oh no, he keeps the crystal sword. Just buys a couple silk webs. Gets a couple Thor rages that he's not really gonna need, but he doesn't know that yet. And where is Wooberry gonna go? Cause
I can definitely see the argument for keeping that crystal sword, because if you find a Cecil, I mean, that's just so ridiculously strong. Once you see all 6 characters, then it's definitely safe to sell if you haven't seen Cecil.
yeah,
Selling before is a risk.
Yeah, and I mean, if you don't need the money yet, it's not gonna hurt you to keep it. But
Yeah.
ooh, that Earth Hammer looks tempting. And there it goes.
Yeah, that's still a lot of money. And getting that Earth Hammer for Sid at this point is really nice, because it's a nice little AoE before your Quake kids can Quake it up. So
yeah, and just the damage upgrade for regular attacks, going from that wooden hammer to an Earth Hammer, solid choice there.
And the Fire Elemental hits a few bosses as well. So
yeah. Kind of nerdy housewife is having a little faster time of it on K-Natsu, I think, just from having 2 quick kids, and same for Mecha.
we get to see some twin magic. Remember, you don't need to have 2 different twins. 2 of the same twins can cast twin magic as well. It often comes up with double Porum suddenly being an offensive powerhouse in the early game, but before you get those, that the level 2 magic or virus on Palom, it can be useful here too.
Yeah, it does come in handy. At least with 2 Paloms, you don't need to have to worry about what order you have them in to get the right effect, or to get the actual, the power, spell, magic, do damage. I am in the commentary booth today because I know how to talk.
Yes. Language is your weapon. That secret music seems to be the play here. That might be, but we still have amount ordeals that could be checked, as well as we haven't seen anybody tackle the Baron in yet. So there's a couple of other places that we might do. That Earth Hammer might make it a bit more enticing to go to check music for Invenerable, but I don't know if the rest of the runners might want to do that with just basic Earth Hammer Wooden Hammer for Sid, because remember, the boss at the bottom of the magnetic cave is really strong to magic, and if you're packing 2 Paloms, that's not a lot of physical damage that you're doing with them.
Yeah, I would not be on fire to go to Twin Harp, not with most of my damage coming from a pair of Paloms.
Yeah, once I can, depending on what I've got for leveling options and equipment, the Yang that's at the top of Mount Hobbs could help with that, but most people might know my feelings on Yang. Default Yang is not going to do a lot of damage on anybody. But it looks like there was a Cactclaw that was found early. That would help him quite a bit.
Yeah, but only so much at those low levels.
Right. Invent is in the Torian neighborhood, though, so we might see that play.
Yeah, again, if any of these runners are in a position to go for it, he's the only one.
Yeah, that extra damage, physical damage from that Earth Hammer is significant and could really help in that sort of a battle.
And to answer the question of best play ATM, that's always hard to say just because we don't know what the result's going to be. But honestly, I would be looking at ordeals right now, personally. You get 3 boss checks, which is actually going to be important for boss clear conditions.
Mm-hmm.
It pre-preps a Cecil if you got a Cecil. It's going to take a little bit longer than, say, doing a Baron-In check, but Baron-In tends to need a few more levels anyway.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with Neon. I like an ordeals check when bosses are part of the object. Baron-In is not a bad play either if you feel like you can take him. But I think you want a few more levels on your Palums before doing that, because you really want them to be able to blast with plenty of level 2 magics at least. I mean, I kind of feel a lot more comfortable with Virus.
Yeah, and it's easy enough to get Virus just from doing these bosses. There's plenty of XP from the 2 on the bridge.
Yeah, it looks like Kind of Nerdy Housewife also thinks of that ordeals play, so very similar route as Woobear right now.
Yes, and ooh, we got Bomb Bomb as the first boss, which nobody likes Bomb Bomb.
Yeah, it's not particularly dangerous at this spot, but it is going to be a pretty long fight.
Yeah, I mean, we've got the Ice 2 just because Palom gets it very early. That'll help expedite things, but nobody likes fighting Bomb Bomb.
Well, I'm glad that you're finding the streams fun, Grim Noir, so thank you for joining us.
Yeah, it's, it's a lot of fun being here. Always good to keep on top of what everybody's doing as they play these things.
Well, looks like that trip to Toria was just a shopping trip for Ridman. Also hit up Kaipo and now is in the Baron shop.
And to answer the question from Magius, yes, it is. We are hunting down the bosses in question, which are Dark Elf, Lugai, and Elements.
Yeah, and I believe that you can set it so that you fight, like you can make objectives be defeat certain places as well. But in this particular one, we have it as the specific bosses again.
Yeah, the new flag system is hugely robust. If you're at all curious, it's at beta.ff4fe.com. Give it a check out, even if you decide not to roll a seed. Just take a look at what's all there.
Yeah, there's a lot of new things in this one, and it's a really exciting time to be a fan of Free Enterprise.
Yeah, there's just so much going on, so much really cool. Oh no, that
is a pretty nasty fight in the back attack spot. Rubicante here is not fooling around.
Yeah, those glares, but Inveterable has taken down the Elements and is being rewarded with an Excalibur and a Rosa.
That's got to feel nice for Inven on a lot of levels. That Excalibur means that even if there is a Cecil, despite the fact that he sold the Crystal Sword, the Excalibur is still quite good.
Yeah, that will do very nicely. Only 2 more chances left for Cecil to be in this seed. But honestly, Rosa is, I think, you'll find very few people who will argue that she isn't the best character in the game.
She's so versatile.
Yeah, that's the thing.
There's so much you can do with her.
Yeah, she can heal, she's got a lot of physical damage if you kid her outright, and she's got magic damage too if you take her up high enough, so lots of hit points, lots of magic points. She's a fantastic all-around character. And now looks like we are all joining up here on Ordeals while Mecha deals with Yang to get his Rosa.
Yeah, it looks like Woobear was able to get a couple of Ice 2s to land with the Cloak of Fire open, and so able to defeat Rubicant there. Very well played. Kind of Nerdy Housewife had a little bit of bad luck on the timing and hit that Ice 2 when the cloak was closed, and that heals Rubicante there, so has to give that another go now.
Oof, that never feels good. Woobear's gonna give us our first look at the key item here, though, and that is we got a hook seed.
Well, I mean, there's technically there's still the music that could be Magma Key,
That's true.
but I'm definitely hoping for a hook.
How bad could it be? I mean, we've already seen some of the worst possible bosses that could be at the hook.
Yeah, you're not going to see Kainazo there.
No
That's-
Rubicant, no
Yeah, Rubicon
Asura.
could be tough too. Yeah, those are all scary ones there for sure.
Could be Ogo Pogo.
That would be fun. Oh yeah, and Exodus says could go to the moon instead, so that's another option that our runners have. And now that they're getting some experience by going up through Mount Ordeals and everything like that, there might be some possibilities of making moon checks should they decide to go that way.
Yeah, and it does help too that a siren has been located. I don't think everybody has it. I know Invenerable did not check that side of Antlion, but even one siren could really bootstrap those levels.
Yeah, really get yourself prepped up for the rest of the moon in a hurry by like finding and defeating 2 King Ryus in Cape Bahamut or something like that. Well, Inven's got a little bit of a buffer in this fight against Rubicante with an extra target for that glare and Rosa. That might help him out. We'll see.
Yeah, and he does, just having that, being able to heal too is nice, so life is a life.
See, Invenerable deciding to open up with Lit Twos, since the Cloak of Fire absorbs ice, but lightning damage can still get through. So, not worrying about the timing to make sure the Ice 2, which hits for double damage, but by just making sure that you're hitting something that will hit. And now timing the Ice 2s on the second time around. This is a heads-up play by Invenerable here.
Yeah, get those Ice 2s in right when it goes off, and then bam. Not getting the levels on Sid kinda sucks, but right now, I don't care. I wouldn't care.
Yeah, getting the levels on Palom and Rosa are more important than Sid at this point.
Yeah.
Especially if we're going to end up going with a hook seed, and there's going to be opportunities to fight Mad Ogres and such if you want levels on your Sid as well. Looks like Kinda Nerdy Housewife is giving up on that Rubicante for now. Might see going over to the Baron Inn, because I don't think she's done that yet. And then she also has music available as well. So we'll see if she just tries to do some other things before heading back to Rubicante.
Yeah, it's reasonable to try to walk away from that if you're not feeling like you're gonna win.
Woobear is giving the Wyvern on top of Mount Hobbs fight another shot.
Yeah, I mean, might as well. We're kind of at a point in the game now where it'll be pretty easy to level Yang up to a point where he'll actually do some good.
Especially if the runners kept that cat claw that they found early.
Yeah, and I don't see why not. It doesn't sell high enough to go out of your way to sell it.
And it is indeed the Baron Inn that Kinda Nerdy Housewife head to right now. So she's going to be able to defeat this Elements fight, get her first objective completed, and a Rosa and an Excalibur, all for this. So that should help out. Not sure if she's going to head right back up to try that Rubicante fight again, because that is a scary Archfiend up there. But we'll see where she decides to go after this.
Oh, she's got options.
And Mecha gets that Ice 2 timed perfectly to defeat Rubicante and is through the second fight on Mount Ordeals.
Very nicely done. And Invulnerable is just going straight underground, not gonna bother checking out that harp. Makes sense. It's a long walk, and you know, we all want music, but let's just go.
You also get a couple shop checks if you want weapons checks.
And there's hourglasses, very important.
Yeah, that's a nice find, especially on this route. And there's also a character check down here, so there's a lot of benefits to going the hook route right now as well.
Yeah. Doesn't find anything too compelling in the weapon shop there.
Yeah, Choco's sort of pointing out 6K hourglasses. Yeah, hourglasses have been rebalanced to be more expensive, and I believe the hourglass 2s are the only ones that are for sale anymore. You don't see 1s or 3s, so you won't see them as often, and you won't see them early as often. So they're a bit more of a premium than they were in the past.
Yeah, I think the reasoning for only putting the 1 in shops is that they're all pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I mean,
looks like the hero of the people is Kind of Nerdy Housewife, though, heading up to the Chocobo Village and finding that black Chocobo.
Oh yeah, give us the music. That's actually kind of bold, though. Given she did struggle on that Rubicante, depending on the boss here, this could give her some trouble too.
It could. I'm not sure. Like, I haven't been seeing what everybody's been opening and purchasing. She might have found some good equipment for Rosa. I'm not sure, but that could help sit along with the physical damage that's kind of needed at this boss spot.
Yeah, I haven't seen anything that's really wowed me, but who knows? I could have missed something.
Invens found the Staleman fight in Edlin Cave. Not the best sports source of experience, but they'll do in a pinch. You get usually a better tier of item for defeating the trap check. So we'll see what he gets.
Well, he gets the virus spells out of that, which is very good, and it's an apple.
Yeah, that'll probably be sold if I'm guessing. Kind of Nerdy Housewife, there was an archer bow on the way down to this fight, so that's at least going to be an upgrade there. And yeah, archer bow and poison arrows is pretty good for this point of the game with physical attack for Rosa, so that's pretty good.
Yeah, and a cursed ring on the way down in those checks, which is good to have.
Always nice to get that in your inventory.
Oh, and he found a life staff for Rosa, which is very, very nice.
Yeah, as far as boosting your white magic stat, there's nothing you want to see more than that life staff.
It's a second Rosa. Very nice. And Dr. Lugai, there's our boss number 2.
So here's the rub. Kind of Nerdy Housewife and Woo Bear. Oh, by the way, let's just quiet down a bit because it's time for DJ Spoony B's Rocket Tunes. You know, the first time I played Super Mario World, I thought it had the best music of any game ever.
It's pretty good even now. Like, it still holds up.
It absolutely does. But I mean, this song always brings me back to, you know, the first time I opened up my Super Nintendo, played Mario. Was great. Okay, what I was saying though, Kind of Nerdy Housewife and Blue Bear are now at the bottom of the Cave Magnus. There is a possibility that this could give the magma key. If it does, this might actually send them way behind because they will not prioritize the Evelyn route, the hook route, nearly as much as the other runners, and they might miss out on Dr. Luge.
This is rough though. Fighting Odin here, especially with kind of nerdy housewives levels. Oof.
Yeah, the bosses are definitely not being kind to Kind of Nerdy Housewife.
Let's see how Blue Bear does.
Yeah, with how hard Odin was hitting for Kind of Nerdy, I might want to think about back row glitching Sid so that he might be able to tank another hit, an extra hit or something.
Maybe, but oof.
Yeah, the Lit 2s are not very effective against Odin. With this spot, as I mentioned earlier in the broadcast, that this spot has very high magic defense. Weight kids are not going to be too much of a help here.
Yeah, I mean, yes and no. I mean, the top one is not doing too well, but the middle one that's the best damage we have. But it's not enough. That is not enough.
Ooh, and Uber not saved anywhere in Cave Magnus. Has to walk the whole way back.
And heading right back in, which I would not rush that if I were him. Oh, but he's got a Thunderclaw for Yang, which apparently everybody's forgotten about.
Well, I think he's the only one who's actually recruited Yang. Everyone else did not want to fight that wyvern.
That's true, but we'll see if that'll make the difference, because that Yang is not super high level yet either.
Invenerable is fighting some random encounters in the upper tower of Babel for some levels.
What a seed!
Or is this a gauntlet?
It might be a gauntlet. I thought, yeah. Too absorbed by music to see.
Yeah, there's so much going on that it might have missed. So we'll see after this fight if another fight starts right away or if this is just some level grinding.
I wouldn't think it would be level grinding, but I mean, he's got Quake now, so that might be Okay, it's a
Yeah.
grind. It's a grind. Which
I think it was the grind to Quake. Yeah.
That makes sense.
Yeah, that definitely makes sense. And now, kind of nerdy is now saying, nope, that's enough of that. Which I absolutely don't blame her for. That Odin was.
Yeah,
rude.
that's yeah. If ever I've seen a fight to nope out of, that's it.
And gonna fight this Mylenzi probably just for some little bit of experience here.
Yeah, and I believe the chests in the room past here are weighted. Oh no, that's not good.
Antlion in the King Queen Evelyn spot. This is a pretty difficult fight too.
Oh, let's not do that. The kids will quick it down. It'll be fine.
Yeah, this is like, well, one of the kids will quick it down.
It's the thought that counts.
Yeah, this is a fast, strong antlion that we're dealing with here, but if that quake gets off, then I think we're good. Because I think that'll be enough with that second quake. Oh, it's not. I'm wrong. Sorry. I'm sorry, everybody.
Surely this cast will kill it.
And there we are. That was you need to be really aware of just how fast and how strong that spot is. Inveterable switching to the virus at the end just to make sure that that extra spell gets cast quick enough to finish off the end line. Well done.
Yeah, and he goes straight into Dr. Lugai, which, fair enough. This is kind of a joke fight, no matter where you run into it.
Yeah, this is a much easier fight than the antlion before it. And Woobear has defeated Odin.
Let's see what we've got.
Just a win.
Wah. I bet he feels real good about that one.
Well, it sells for a decent amount of money.
If you don't reset out of it, which
Yeah, well, I guess so.
Yeah, well, you don't walk out with that. I like me some Canes, but we don't know if he's there, and we've already got a defense sword, and no, just no.
About the chat, we do have the NP underflow glitch on, as well as the Dwarf Castle warp glitch. So the people might be wanting to make sure that they've got warp on their pal before heading to Dwarf Castle. So.
Yeah, because he does get it pretty late.
Ooh, Mecha. I don't think he was fully healed when he came into this antlet, but that's going to be difficult. Looks like kind of nerdy housewife has burned her siren that she found in Antlion Cave up here on the top of Mount Odiles. This is one of the best experience spots in the overworld, so this makes sense. Especially, this might help her get through that Rubicante fight that she had so much problems with earlier. So you've got to use it would be ideal to use the siren up on the moon where it's going to give you the most amount of experience. But if you're not even able to handle the bosses here on the Earth, use it now so that you can get past what you need to do. So I think this is a smart play by Kind of Dirty Housewife.
Yeah, it doesn't feel good to do that, but it'll get her over the hump, which is what she needs right now.
Absolutely.
And that is Dr. Lugai down on Invenerable's side.
And that's another objective completed. 2 of the 4 objectives now for Invenerable are down. And Invenerable is going to be the first of our featured runners to be into the underground.
We'll also get a peep at the boss here. That's a moon boss, which means we don't care too terribly much about what it is unless it's got a good key item.
Right. Looks like Mecha wanted no part of that antlion anymore. As getting out of Evelyn might be heading over to Evelyn Castle to do some leveling, possibly, or might want to try music. We know that Odin is lurking down at the bottom of the Cave Magnus.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, he's hitting up Evelyn Castle, which will be a good source of levels for him.
Yeah, the 3 fights in there. I mean, the Sailman Skull fight is whatever, but the other 2 fights are really good sources of experience.
Yeah.
Inven heading straight to Tomra. We'll see if he does the right thing and checks the employment dwarf.
He does buy some exits, which are very nice to have. And yes, he's going to check the dwarf. He's a community health nurse today. Good for him.
Now heading to the Land of Summon Monsters.
Gonna get all of those loots.
And their Kind of Dirty Housewife has finally defeated Rubicante, so that is awesome.
Yay!
You gotta get that monkey off your back.
Ooh, black belt and 2 black belts. Very nice to find those. And the sand ruby. Everyone's favorite item.
Have we seen anybody check the bed in Kaipo?
It's a twin, I think. At least that's what I saw in chat.
If so, then you know 5 of our 6 characters. Well, if it's 4 of them.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell the twins apart in the bed, so.
Yeah, the bed is the toughest, I think.
And to answer the question in chat, scarcity does not remove trap chests, because trap chests are different and they're done differently. And Venerable taking a save here, I did see a free boss in the downstairs here, so this might be one of them. He's going for it.
This is one of those spots where you absolutely want to see a free boss. I believe this would be the Kaipo guards. Or officer soldier, yeah. Mecha now wanting to give that wyvern another shot. Is ditching a Rosa for Yang.
Oh.
Yeah, just my personal philosophy, I can't support this decision.
Yeah, I don't know if that it's.
Nice to see the Toad spell get some love on Inven's screen there.
Frogs are people too. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I'm not a fan of white mages at the best of times, but Rose is better than Yang.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I agree with you. Just
I
as I'm at brand.
That's why I did it to the frog. The frog can't retreat, so he still gets the XP for it. I didn't know that.
Yeah, the frog get a lot. I was not aware of that either, but the toad. Oh no, just try. It'll try to retreat, but it just doesn't work. I guess it might count as a spell of some sort.
I guess so. Brand new strats being unveiled on this stream today. We'll have to ask him when he came up with that, because as far as I know, that's a new one.
I guess that's like one of those consequences of making those hourglasses rarer and harder to depend on. Because normally you just lean on an hourglass and be able to beat up the officer in plenty of time while it stopped. But without that constant source of hourglasses that we've been used to in the previous version, you got to come up with some new strategies in order to get the experience that you want to get out of that fight. So, very heads up. Yeah, we'll definitely have to ask Ben about that after we're done.
And that's a pen for his trouble. Very nice. And as well, to answer Frith, I mean, with the rarity of sirens now, XP also is at far more of a premium than it used to be.
And the XP is weighted towards the soldier versus the officer rather than the soldiers. So you get more experience for defeating that one.
Yeah, so you want to make that happen.
Woobear now finding that nasty antlion in the king-queen spot.
Shokusura dropping wisdom on us as well. Toad will work on the Kelbreda dolls if also instead of the
hourglass.
Yes.
Yeah.
Words. They're good. There's wine in the shop. Everybody's favorite thing to buy. It's wine. Delicious wine.
We've dispatched that antlion now at the Lugai spot, whereas Mecha has headed up to the moon and is taking on these King Ryus, burning one of those hourglasses, so that we'll be able to get quite a bit of experience in one fight here.
Yeah, using that one siren found to just scare up some XP. And what do the sylphs have for us today? Ooh, it's the Earth Crystal.
That's big for a number of reasons. There's 2 more boss checks, and we still need to find that dark elf somewhere in order to complete the seed. We might see a more character up there, and you get access to that huge treasure room at the bottom of Troya that's weighted pretty high.
Yeah, that loot is pretty huge.
Mecha getting the full benefit of this King Ryu fight by using that life glitch that we do have enabled today. The life glitch, along with the MP Underflow and the Dwarf Castle Warp glitch, are what we have available. No item duplication, though, and no 64. So this is the half seed, not getting everything, only half. And Invent about to check to see if Sheila's got the goods.
Yeah, let's see. Yeah. Oh, that's mandatory. That's the adamant.
And the Baron key. So no garbage there. And that adamant is required, so very good trip to Sheila there.
Yeah, and as Chen is already saying, there's 3 boss checks in Baron, which is very important.
Yeah. As the other 2 in the Tower of Zot. Looks like he's heading over to Toria. I bet he's going to at least check the big treasure room. Might head up to Zot right now since he's there right now anyways.
Yeah, we'll see. I know he's not a fan of the actual tower, but it is 2 boss checks, so we'll see how that goes. Oh, Mecha looks like is sticking with the moon.
Yeah, after getting those levels, now just wants to keep trying.
And that's Golbez.
Yeah, that is no fun, Bez. You can't blame Mecha for not going back to that fight.
Yeah. Invent finds a moon veil in there, which is very nice. And ooh, water hag for Mecha. We can just get through here. Ooh, and he's prepping to take on Golbez.
Yeah, he's definitely doing that. Venom as a heads-up play too. Nia, do you want to explain why this Venom is a smart play here?
Okay, so what he's doing is he's poisoning himself, that status will take priority over the hold that Golbez does at the start of the fight. This will make it really easy to bring up the people who die and also get the walls off if needed, which they are needed there.
Yeah, so this is basically going to make that really difficult Golbez fight a lot easier to deal with. And
he gets the pink tail there. Very, very nice.
Yeah, adamant armors are available in this, so if you trade that in the adamant grotto, you will get an adamant armor for that, so that's a pretty nice pickup too.
Yeah, again, never necessary, but always a nice to have. Healing up, and he's gonna go in.
Now I assume he's got some star veils, just in general, in order to think about defeating this spot. Even though you're immune to the hold, Golbez's magic is still going to be pretty strong here, especially considering he's got a really high HP pool here as well.
Yeah, this is, in the vanilla game, this is 2 bosses in 1, so there's a lot of hit points to go through.
And Invent finds Plague in the first boss spot in Baron. With the amount of damage his team can pull out right now, I don't think this is a very scary fight at all.
Oh, is he casting Quake, though? Can't cast Quake on Plague. Doesn't matter, but... Plague is actually floating, though, so you cannot Quake Plague.
And Woobear has defeated Dr. Luge and is now in the underworld.
And, oof, yeah, this is gonna be a loss for Mecha. I think, oh, maybe not, he does have that Star Veil off on one of them. Just gotta make that recovery slow and steady.
Probably has to get lucky with reviving somebody and getting Starveil on them too, because Starveils do not last forever.
Yeah, and oh, we found a Dark Knight. He's on the throne of Bear.
Yeah, this is Cecil's revenge. The downside of that Venom strat is every now and then you'll get that damaged by poison message.
Oh, there's our 5th character. Bye, Tella.
Yeah, he would have been a lot more welcome earlier in the scene with his ability to cast Exit, but at this point, he's just so weak compared to the other characters that Inven has available to him that I don't blame him for not wanting to keep him.
Yeah, and he likes Tella, so it just does not make sense. Mecha does eat a loss there. Let's see if he's gonna go back in, give it another go. Yes, he is. Oh, that's the Legend Sword.
Inven is a dark elf away from being in go mode.
Sheila is required. Double required.
Uber has decided to do the dwarf castle and finds a free fight in the first one in King Queen Emblem.
That's always nice. That is far more annoying than 2 spots. And in the other throne is some octopus royalty.
I doubt that Hallam has access to warp on Woobear's screen at this level, so that's kind of the sad thing about it.
Yeah, I think he's a bit low for it, because Pelham gets warp really late. It's kind of weird relative to how early Rydia gets it.
And Kokol decides to keep whatever he forged, but the objective is complete for Inven. So just one more objective to go.
Ooh, Artemis Arrows, Moon Veils, Protect Rings, Defense Sword. What a shot!
That is a killer shot right there.
Yeah, he sells everything he's got to get a full set of Protect Rings. That's yes. That's straight up one of the best bits of equipment in the game.
D missed the second fight in Dwarf Castle.
And an Eddie!
Edward is the 6th character.
Oh, why aren't you taking Edward?
We haven't found the spoon. If we had found the spoon, we might see people keeping Edward.
We've got Artemis Arrows in a shop!
Yeah, Woobear doesn't know that.
He should be able to intuit that. The energy of those arrows meeting that Edward's hand, that should reach out through the seed.
Wow, I think you play a different game than I do. Woobear easily dispatches Demas. Unfortunately, no key item. As we mentioned, we have the free key item on this one, so you get that key item from Bedward in Troria rather than from Dead Rydia's mom in Kaipo.
you still got 2 key items out of this. Just I don't think you can only get. I think you can only get 1. Yeah, that Mist Dragon glove, that's really cool. Oh, Mecha's found Dark Elf.
Oh, so Moon is required.
Bluebear gets a rat tail and discovers the horrible news. That he does not have war.
Yeah. Here's the tough thing now. For Mecha's sake, I'm hoping that the magma key is somewhere within, like, the underworld.
Yeah, I hope it. He had better not get the magma key because that's gonna hurt.
Yeah. If he finds the magma key up here on the moon, it's going to be a long time before he goes through it. But on the other hand, if he doesn't find it, then he might be able to catch up. Because right now, the thing is Invenerable and Woobear. I'm especially Invenerable, considering he's doing the tower right now, might be prioritizing everything before going to the moon.
Yeah, and that could save Mecha.
That could definitely save Mecha if he doesn't find the magma. If he does find the magma key, I think it's going to be really tough for him to come back.
And Woobear gets Sand Ruby.
Mecha has transitioned the Dark Elf into the second form, the Dark Dragon, which is actually a lot easier to deal with. Vulnerable to stop, vulnerable to weak. Just a lot more you can do to the Dark Dragon that you can't do to the Dark Elf.
Assuming you keep it pinned down, because it does hit harder.
I imagine he's just using Quake. Like, Palom should know stop at this point, right?
I would think so. He gets up pretty early.
It might be one of those things where you're so used to using Hourglass, you might not realize that you can just use stop and get it done. Like,
Could be, because he might just not feel it's needed.
Invenerable has gone to the moon. Just check Cave Bahamut, not happy with the boss there. So might be heading to the Lunar Palace. If so, he could be in really good shape here.
Yeah, could very well be, because that's a pretty short circuit, and I don't honestly see him wasting any time on Golbez, so that'll put him...
I wasn't watching like his stream perfectly, but I imagine he just did that half tower because he saw that it was just a lunar boss at the top. So check the tower boss, or the tower key boss, saw it wasn't Dark Elf. And as you mentioned earlier, he does not want to mess with Zod, so has gone to the moon instead.
Yeah, and he knows he's only looking for bosses at this point. I don't believe he's key item locked on any bosses anymore, so yeah, he's just doing boss check. Yeah, the only key item that could yield a boss was the package, which, no.
And the Luca key.
No, because he had warp.
Well, that got him the item, but it didn't get him the boss.
Oh, the boss, that's true.
That's one of the weird things about this flag set with the warp glitch on. You're really hoping that boss down at the bottom of the steel gate is not one of the objective bosses.
Yeah, but with so many boss checks here, you don't want to go out of your way on that. Even if it were an option, which right now it isn't.
Girl named Captain in the chat, have we seen the music already? We have. We have actually seen it by Kinda Nerdy Housewife earlier. But she's going back in now with a much stronger party. Should be able to defeat the Odin at the bottom of this cave. So Invenerable is now heading down. Is gonna probably just check and see those bosses. Gotta make a save next to him. We'll see if he goes and checks the Wyvern spot first. My guess is he will. I was wrong. Immediately proved wrong.
At least that's a quick proof.
Yeah, that's why I commentate in that race. That secret heal safe first. There's a save point right before the Wyvern spot as well, so that's why I thought he would go there first. But anyways, he's gonna see that this is the water hag. He might do it just because it's free.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he will, because it's free. Good XP, which, as we can see just looking at his hit point lines, he needs. Oh no, he's gonna run out of there because that's too much for him.
Yeah, it was hitting hard and fast, so.
Change that anchor around, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, going back in, because that's too much XP to leave on the table in his situation.
Ooh, it looks like he is at the 10 key item point, so it does mean the XP boost is on.
Oh, you can stop the water hag. Cause it's just a monster.
Woobear getting the magma key for turning in the rat tail. That's good news for Mech.
Oh, good, because yeah, that will be bad.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, no, I'm far off. If it, yeah. Poor Rosa's not getting that XP.
Woobear is now getting the key items from Sheila, gets that adamant that we know is required. And the Baron key, which that's what led to that legend sword, right?
Yep.
So Sheila really did have the goods. Now, I don't imagine that Inven will fight this Goldass.
Yeah, he's not even going in.
And looks like that Odin is still giving Kinda Nerdy Housewife a very difficult time. Inven and Mecha are now both at the Dark Hill fight.
Oof. Well, Mecha does have a lot more levels, but this fight's been giving Mecha a lot of trouble, so we'll see.
Yeah, I think the faster the dark elf side is, the more dangerous it is, because you get those weeks of those whispers coming in a lot faster, and that's really scary, I think.
Yeah.
Safety, our restreamer tonight is asking in the chat, does Odin start Zentetsuken faster as the fight goes on? I don't believe so, but there were fewer party members up on Kind of Nerdy Housewife screen as the fight went on, and that kind of makes it look like Odin goes faster as well. So I think it was more for that reason than the actual timing. And as Chokasura said, the Housewife could technically pull off the one-hit KO. I kind of thought that that's what she was going for that last fight. That had the Lit 2 cured up instead of either a Thor Rage or a Lit 1, and I wasn't checking to see if that was the second or third time he had raised his sword. Inven now has the Dark Elf in the second form.
Casting a hold there, which will do just as well as a stop. No, it won't.
Yeah, but it misses. That hold is a really low hit percent, I've found. Stop's a lot more reliable, and I think he's got that queued up with his top column there.
Yeah, there we go.
And so Inven should have this from here. That'll put him in go mode, and he's going to be awarded the crystal right here. He's got some grinding to do before he's able to defeat Zeramis, but...
Yeah, if you were higher level, I don't think he'd even bother saving before going in, but this is not a Zeramis ready part.
Yeah, well, he's definitely going to save before going in, but he's going to need some levels as well. Yeah, that magic is just not dealing damage to Odin, really.
Yeah, Odin is... It feels really bad seeing her spend all this time here, because this is not worth it, and she doesn't know that yet.
Yeah. But Inven has defeated the Dark Elf and is going to be awarded with the crystal. I think Wubear is fighting a vanilla Mega Sisters.
Yeah, looks like they've just changed up where they stand a little bit. And Inven is through. Gets a power shirt for his trouble along with his crystal.
And we have not had a finisher in this race yet, so if luck is on his side, there isn't anybody else who's found what they need, and Inven can get his grind done fast enough, he might get a first place here.
Yeah, it'll all come down really to how fast he levels. Looks like it's just a random encounter grind from here.
Can the one-hit wonder happen with only lit one? Because I thought the timing was right for a one-hit wonder or one-hit KO on Odin there from kind of nerdy on that run.
It is on the third and only the third Swords Braze.
Right, and I thought that was the third, but I might have missed it, but I thought the timing was right then.
Yeah, I was not counting how many Sword Brazes that was, to be honest.
Oh, it was the fourth? Oh, okay. Invin has decided to fight the Pale Dim, or at least peek at the Pale Dim.
Yeah, and kind of nerdy's leaving again, looks like, which, oof.
Mecha giving that Golbez fight another shot.
See how that goes now. Oh yeah, exactly 1 star avail, so...
Ah, that's pretty rough. That's going to be a tough Golbez to try to defeat with just 1 star veil.
Yeah, I think putting it on the Yang at this point is correct, though. Should have a Fire Claw still, which will hit Golbez's weakness. But, oh, trying to keep people alive through that, that's not worth it.
And while we're seeing some things that we've seen in the past, let's take this moment to give a shout out to the people behind the scenes. Smaped is on the restream tonight. Always nice to have his sure hand there. And we have Elijah Brab on the tracking, and always helpful to have somebody do the tracking for us because, as you can clearly tell, I miss a lot of things.
That's just kind of how it goes. I mean, we've got 4 people to watch right here.
Oh, yeah. And we've got to come up with clever things to say. And I know that's tough because not most of the things that I say aren't that clever.
Yeah, I mean, we have got to convince you people that we know what we're talking about from this video game, and that we're smart people, and, oof, I mean, I don't know about you, but that's a real trick for me.
Yeah, it's a tough con to pull off. But that's why it's good that we've got such great people that we work with.
Yeah, I mean, you know, none of us would be here without, you know, if any one of us were missing, none of us would be here. We wouldn't,
Yeah.
if we were short players, we were short tracker, you know, shorter restream. Everybody's important. Everybody deserves all your love.
I believe Woobear is now in that same position that Inven was in, where he's just boss hunting.
Yeah, looks like seems kind of reluctant to go to the moon, but he's about to cash in his sword components.
Yeah, you want to remember to do that.
Inven's off to buy more hourglasses, I think. And the need to get both Adamant and Legend is because presenting Coco with some things to forge is a requirement of the seed.
Get Kook, yes, the objectives give you the crystal. One of the objectives on this is to forge, have Coco use his forge with the Adamant of the Legend. He's not giving you the crystal. You get the crystal by completing all the objectives. I'm just saying forge whatever he forges. I don't even know. He doesn't tell you what he forges. So.
He forges a stylish hat.
Oh, I mean, out of adamant. I mean, that's probably going to give a lot of stat boosts.
Yeah, I mean, adamant armor, adamant hat.
Speaking of adamant armor, Inven just got that adamant armor from the Pigtail exchange. And meanwhile, Kind of Nerdy Housewife is on the Edlin continent doing some random battles for some experience. You know, being aware of where on the overworld you're going to find the most difficult bosses or difficult random encounters to get the most experience for your buck is definitely a way to go here if you're having difficulty defeating the bosses that are presented to you.
Yeah, and right now, she needs the XP she can get.
Yeah, unfortunate that these huge cells are retreating instead of dying, though.
Yeah, that's no good.
Inven now with some more equipment, probably going to be ready to do some more grind fights.
Yeah, that looks like some much better prep there.
These Warlock carry fights on the first few floors are really good sources of experience, and they can be dealt with relatively easy if you've got access to stone. It'll be a while before he gets there, but Quake's not gonna. It's gonna do well on the Warlocks. The carries are another story, of course.
Yeah, but those should be good enough to deal with in the more traditional way. Yeah, get those levels. Meanwhile, everybody's just doing their thing. Kind of Nerdy Housewife clears one of those trap chests for the delicious XP inside. Gets a ribbon for trouble. Very nice find there. Meanwhile, everybody's pretty much just fighting some fights that will yield them some XP, and yeah, it looks like this is Wyvern where Pale Did is at, which is not a fun place to find a physical boss. His Wyvern does have the highest physical attack in the game, tied with Evil Wall, which not fun. Not fun at all. Blueberry gets a white shirt for dealing with those dolls, though. It's very handy when you got a Rosa right there, and oh, she's got a leather shirt. And it looks like Invan just hasn't turned his encounters off, but it looks like he's pretty much done, less whatever he gets on the way. Kinda Nerdy Housewife still has her encounters on, which she forgot to, because she's just running straight away.
Sierra Tracker, Legion Breath has not seen some of those enemies. Yeah, it's not a place that you're usually doing a lot of foot walking in the vanilla version of the game, so you might not see those on a regular playthrough.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever gotten into a random encounter there. Ever.
Yeah. So it's the only you'll have access to the airship by the time you get there. So.
Kinda Nerdy Housewife is heading back to the moon. Gonna check for value.
Yeah, might be hoping there's a free boss here to get that XP that she's been looking for. I think Rosa just learned white on an invent screen.
Yeah, looks like he's just taking... Oh yeah, he's completely done now. We're not completely done, because he didn't turn it off after that, but... Looks like he's just only going to take the really good... Oh god, that's Valdos.
That is absolutely not a free fight. That is one of the scariest places to see Valdos, I think.
Yeah, it's fast and it hits hard because the boss doesn't do any physical damage in vanilla. And it looks like Invin does want maybe one or two more double dragon fights.
Yeah, probably. I mean, the gold would be the best, but gold silver will probably do in a pinch too.
Yeah, this foot is where he's walking around now. There should be some gold, I think. But yeah, it looks like he wants to get those palabs up a little bit more. Oh god, that's double blue dragons.
Blueberry now running into that gold as
everybody's favorite product.
Invin fed up with waiting for double dragons, settling for one here.
Yeah, I mean, it's still 60k XP, and Those kids have Meteor, so they're almost there.
We'll see if he wants to level him up to nuke. Looks like
Yeah, I
he
think
might
so.
be wanting to do that, yeah. I think that makes sense. It looks like he wants to go with a almost a pure reflex strategy. We see the blank text glitch on Woo Bear's screen down there.
He's fine, but it looks like he found that pink tail.
Yeah. I think kind of nerdy housewife has these cows stopped, in which case I think she might have found a boss that she could take down, which is great.
Yeah, and this will also give her a white shirt, which will help her a lot with her roses.
Yeah, both for defense and white magic ability. White shirt is really nice.
That should do it for the dolls for her. Yep. And Invent is done with leveling. So we've got a very important question to ask as Invenerable makes his descent.
We do.
So, whose butt are we gonna kick tonight?
Yes, it is butt time. Everybody fly your Z flags if you got.
And Mecha just gets a glass hat for his trouble with that pale dim. Which, I mean, it's an improvement for several of his characters, but ew.
And through all that grinding, we still don't have a first finisher, so unless he gets sniped, Inven looks like he might be in line for a first place finish.
Yeah, and there's not even anybody typing in the chat, so we'll see. Look, I know he called yesterday that he'd get second place, but he might screw that up and get a first.
I might have commentators cursed him too by just saying that he's in line for first place, so we'll see.
Watch him fool us all and get third.
Uh-oh. We've got Lord British.
Oh.
I love this sprite.
Yeah, I do too. It's you have to be able to kill Lord British in a video game. That's the law.
Toshi, why is he so disinterested in the heroes? I think that I don't think I need to answer that.
And that's very true, Spapey. He's upset that Ultima is not a spec. Though, on the other hand, considering how Ultima gets used in some of the Final Fantasies, you know, perhaps that would be this series' equivalent of Armageddon, so maybe he doesn't want us to use Ultima. And this is some horrifying crossover knowledge that about 5 people watching this are gonna get.
And so we're seeing Invenerable using the full reflex strategy, just bouncing nukes and whites over to Zeramus there, and this by using the reflecting strat, we're going to avoid the HP refill that happens, about halfway through the fight here. So only going to have to do about half the damage to defeat him, and that just makes it a lot better for if you're going to be using magic. I think if you're going like full berserkers, it still might be a little bit faster, but if you're going to want to use magic, you want to reflect it off.
Yeah, it's comparable speeds between Reflect and Berserker, just because animation time on Reflect is pretty long.
Yeah,
and down he goes. Invenerable
he didn't have the flash on, but we got it, yeah.
First place at 139.01. GG.
Yeah, big G's to Invenerable. Really did a good job of navigating through this seed. Now, a lot of it was given to him pretty easily, but going from where he was to just skipping every boss that he saw to get to the Dark Elf was really well done. So GG's to Invenerable.
I mean, if you say so.
Oh, you weren't supposed to hear me say that.
I thought you were going to do second place.
Oh, I mean, I tried my hardest to take second, in my opinion. So one of the things that's important on these new beta seeds is to have a grind plan in place before you hit go mode, so that you don't run around like a chicken with your head cut off trying to figure out what you want to do.
I kind of noticed that. You're really kind of all over the place, being like, I don't know how to grind this.
Yeah, I mean, I really, initially I'm like, well, I have Palums in the back row, I'm agility anchored, I have Quake. I can just do random moon encounters, but then every moon encounter I kept getting was trickers and stuff, so I'm like, fine, we got that pink tail, let's just go back to Earth, buy hourglasses, and we'll turn encounters on, and fight multiple groups on the way down, life glitch them, get our XP that way. If we lose because we didn't immediately go for the Mac Giant grind, or because we didn't go swap out for Tella and do a D-Machine grind, that's fine. I can live with that. I definitely need better planning in the future on that right there. Where did everyone else get rabbit holed?
I don't know if it's rabbit hole so much as just people having trouble getting off the ground.
Yeah, there are some nasty roadblocks at different points. That Rubicant up at Mount Ordeals was a troublemaker. Odin down at the bottom of Cave Magnus, and I don't know if you even saw that one.
I didn't go down there.
And
You're the wisest one of all.
Yeah, the antlion at the first boss at the King Queen Evelyn spot.
Oh yeah, that antlion was rude. Yeah.
So those were things that kind of caught people off more than rabbit holing, I think, in this one.
Gotcha. What is the Twin Harp song tonight, by the way, since I missed it?
We had some Super Mario World. I think it's called Athletic.
Oh, nice. Classic.
Yeah. And one strategy that was new, I think to both me and Neon that we saw, we wanted to call you out, that when you fought the Kaipo guards and used the Toad on them. So didn't know that the Toad caused the officer to not be able to retreat.
Yeah. I was experimenting with that because I didn't know the pan was going to be there, so I thought, well, I can at least get XP this way, and maybe we'll get warp, because I wasn't doing Dwarf Castle until I learned warp. That was absolutely part of the plan. But I knew that they were vulnerable status elements, but I'm sure you saw me experimenting elsewhere. Like, I was trying to cast everything I could on the Dark Elf's dragon form.
Yeah, even like Charm, I saw you try to pull out there, so yeah.
Yeah, because I realized I don't know what some of those things have immunities to when they don't have the boss bit, because up until the 4.0 beta, it was always throw an hourglass, call it a day. Now, as you saw at the end, I finally got sick of not having hourglasses and went back and bought a fat stack.
Yeah, that was kind of our thought, that now that hourglasses are a lot more expensive and a lot less common to find, you need to find alternate strategies for these bosses that you used to kind of just rely on the hourglass as the way to get through them.
Yeah, and I like that a lot too, because I feel like there's good middle ground for us to tread here, with hourglasses being a little more limited versus the no free bosses mode, where you don't get status effects at all. You just have to dish out all the DPS.
Right, I tend to agree with you there.
Yeah, like I think it's really exciting to see some actual strats being deployed besides just, oh, I've got 40 hourglasses, I'll just use one of these.
Yeah, well, fun little seed. Definitely a little ruder than the couple I had looked at. With that S standard, you can even find, I believe, sirens in overworld shops. Like, I found them there on the one I ran right before the main stream, and to not have any sirens, I really should have taken that Tella just for the just to have access to weak and the grind things. But
yeah, you surprised us all. Like me, chat, everybody was like, he could take that Tella. And he didn't take that Tella.
I should have taken the Tella. Wait, was the Tella in Dwarf Castle though?
Baron. Edward was at Dwarf.
Oh, okay, Baron. Okay. Because Dwarf I reset as soon as I saw it wasn't the Dark Elf, because that's all I had left. But yeah, okay. I should have taken the Tella. That was a big error in judgment. You take the Tella there, you go ahead and grind on the giant, and then go hunt the moon for your final boss. That's the correct procedure, I dare say, on reflection.
And just use that Tella as your anchor at the end, right?
Yeah, especially with that cursed ring.
That makes sense.
Did y'all catch early on when I sold my crystal sword so I could buy an earth hammer?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, yes. We were. Yeah, there was a lot of, is he gonna keep that crystal sword? Is he gonna sell it? I think it was like, he's gonna keep it until he needs the money for it for something else.
Yeah,
and then we saw that earth hammer, and it was like, he's gonna sell the crystal sword.
Yeah, and then, there was another one in the Troya Treasury anyway, but, just thinking, well, I also had a Defender at that point, and I'm like,
right.
Well, it's good enough for Cecil, and if Kane is one of our 6 characters, he gets use out of it too, so that helped me part with...
found an Excalibur before too long after that as well, so...
Yeah, and there was actually a lightsaber in Sheila's tower, so just holy swords left and right, so...
I noticed you did check weapon shops a fair bit. Was there anything in particular you were looking for?
Early on, it was just any weapon for Sid, just to have a little extra DPS on him. And then I think I quit looking when I finally found an arrow for sale. I bought a crossbow somewhere, realized I didn't have arrows yet, and then I bought a single darkness arrow in Troya.
It was arrows you were looking for. Okay.
Yeah. Because with half chests, you can't rely upon finding them out in the wild, Yeah,
I guess you really can't.
Yeah,
it was like right at the beginning of the seed, you saw the effect of that half chest when you went down to the early Troya Treasury, and you saw the big room that normally has 8 chests and only one of them had anything in it, and it's like, wow. Like, is that the sort of check that you make early on a flag set like this? It's weird.
I was already there to talk to Eddie anyway.
Right.
So yeah, peek there. Did anyone actually dive Eblin Castle? Because I love doing that on T Wildish when you don't have the 50% chest reduction. I like the ratio there of untrapped to trapped. But did anyone else on Restream go for those just to see what was there?
Not early. We saw at least one of the runners go there to fight the battles for the experience.
Yeah.
Before the hook route, but not like a treasure dive.
Gotcha.
It looks like our second place finisher, Dark Paladin, did dive Eblin because he didn't know any better.
Hey, second place though. Before the race, I know he was saying I've only played one seed in the last 2 months, and in here taking second place.
He's still got it.
Yeah, sandbagging everyone. I'm gonna go get onto him a bit. Huge thanks to y'all with the Restream team, by the way. Thanks for putting on the show for everyone. Really appreciate y'all. I'm gonna dip out and get myself something caffeinated. I'll catch y'all later.
All right, thanks for joining us, Invent.
I'll catch you later. And Woobear is fighting Lord British right now, so I'm sure he'll be joining us quite soon. Because I think he's got this fight.
Yeah, his levels look pretty good. His palabs are a little bit weak, but I think he'll make up for it with the rest of his team. Ooh,
Or not.
did not like what was going on there.
Oh, I'm sure he'll be joining us soon.
I think we're about time for Mecha to head through that hook route. I was gonna cash in that pigtail first, of course.
Yeah, looks like. Which, you know, might as well. It's very, very handy.
Yeah, well, the best piece of equipment in the game. If you have the opportunity to pick it up, you pick it up, I think.
Yeah, there are occasional circumstances where you don't, but they're few and far between.
And once again, Mecha lucky that the magma key was not on the moon, and now going through this hook route, which we know will have Dr. Luge, which is required for him.
Yeah, so that's really saving him right there.
Yeah. And then I think it's going to be down to how soon he goes and gets that pan and turns that in, goes and does the Sheila stuff, because he's going to have to go to Sheila to get that adamant and the Baron key, and the Baron key to get that legend sword.
Yeah, that should go fairly quickly at that point, though.
I mean, I guess there's a chance that he'll do Tower or Dwarf Castle before Line of Summon Monsters, but I think most runners tend to prioritize Line of Summon Monsters first because of that free key item check. And then if he goes down and sees the free boss, which is the one that gives that pan, then I think that'll lead him in the right direction.
Yeah, I think so, just because, you know, you don't turn away free.
Yeah.
Ooh, Ice 3s, yeah. Woobear's really kind of low level on those palums.
Yeah, and I guess like Sid is not that strong even at high levels, so the Ice 3s are okay, and Yang is dishing out decent amounts of damage.
Yeah, this is doable. It's just kind of.
Dark Paladin, did Mecha full clear on Moon? I believe he did. I know he definitely even defeated that Golbaz.
Yeah, I know he was having a rough time prior to anything else, so he just said, you know what, I'm gonna go do the moon. And kind of nerdy housewife.
Oh, back.
Does she not know about the other save point in K Magnus?
I'm not sure. She might not. I know she's been hitting her head against the Odin for a long time on this seed, and once she does defeat it, she's gonna be so frustrated to just get that White Lance.
Yeah, that's gonna feel terrible. Oh.
Mecha at that Luge fight. Very nice to see that. But she's done some moon bosses. She's got a lot more experience, at least than she did the first time around. Hopefully, there'll be enough to be able to outmuscle Odin here.
Yeah, hopefully. She's still a little bit low for as hard as Odin hits, but I'm hoping she can get through it, if only to just see that, no, it's not worth it.
Yeah.
Go underground, please. I think more than anything else, this seed is showing us that in the time that we've had this game, we've forgotten how to grind.
We're so dependent on our sirens.
Yeah, it's and just seeing what happens to people without them, they're really at loose ends trying to get off the ground.
I mean, you could always take the tail and do
that's another wipe for Woobear. Oh,
that is rough.
That nerf came way too late, and he has to nerf with his levels. And I think he's
counters. So yeah, we're gonna see some
grinding.
He only has 1 hourglass left. It looks like.
Ooh. And a nerdy housewife struggling with trying to quake Odin at this spot, which that's not happening. You gotta. It's lit or nothing, and even the lit doesn't do much. And Mecha is through! Yay! He sees that that's just a moon boss up there.
In this flag set with doing bosses for the objectives, a check like that is a lot more important than on a regular one. I mean, I think it's always useful information, but it's super important here.
Yeah. And that's another thing we're actually seeing with something that people haven't really talked about much with the drop screen that we just saw on Woobear's side. Yeah, I do believe we actually have restored the Japanese drop tables. We got a Thor Rage off that fight rather than just a Cure 1.
Yeah, and I believe the chat noted that during kind of nerdy housewife's grind up over on the Evelyn overworld, she got a Zeus gauntlet drop.
Oh, I thought they meant she got that out of a chest, but no, that's very, very nice.
I believe it was. I guess it could have been a chest.
Yeah, either or. I did not catch where she got it, so it could have been either. And kind of nerdy housewife is through at last.
That is a relief. I mean, it's going to be very upsetting for her, but at least she won't have to hit her head against that Odin anymore.
And she's realizing she doesn't have exit either, because that comes from Earth Crystal for Rosa. Or Warp, because that's high level. Oh, that Pelham just got Warp. She's gonna take that trophy with her.
Yeah, walk out with that. Get you that white lance. You earned it. Mecha heading to the bottom. Is going for the Ogopogo fight first. Unless no, it doesn't look like he's completed the other one yet.
Yeah, I mean, might as well see who that boss is, because there are, of course, several easy lunar bosses. The Canadian content is not one of them.
Yeah, the Ogs to the Pogues is a pretty rough spot in here, but with all the lunar bosses that Mecha's been able to defeat so far, it actually probably won't be all that difficult, all things considered.
Yeah, probably not. And, you know, XP never hurts, so...
Mover took another save, not ready to finish grinding yet. Finds the King Ryu Jinryu fight without the hourglass. Is going to have to hope to stay alive through this, but does have access to weak, and these dragons are susceptible to the weak spell.
And stop. Just casting stop works.
Meanwhile, kind of nerdy housewife is picking up her adamant armor from the Pink Tail trade.
That is gonna be a huge boon to her, just with how much she's been struggling.
Yeah, I think just having that equipped to one of the characters is going to make beating that antlion so much easier.
Yeah. And Mecha is now on the Kaipo guards, which will put him on the right track.
Yeah, this should give the pan, which hopefully will send Mecha in the right direction of doing the Sheila quest. Kind of nerdy housewife now armed with an adamant armor, some experience, heading back through Evelyn, and should be able to take care of that antlion a lot easier now.
Yeah, she should have no trouble with this now.
All right, Mecha has received his pan. And Wu Bear fighting another King Ryu Jinryu fight. Quite a bit of experience available in these fights, so Ooh, did trigger the blaze off that Jinryu, one of the nasty counter spells available. These moon encounters can be mean.
Yeah, but oh, he does have weak.
Looks like able to get a life glitch off on the King Ryu.
Very nice. And just weak that last one down, and
this is enough to get the this fight here might be enough to get the nukes that I think Wubear is looking for. Elijah Record, yes, the king is worth 4 XP.
Yeah, yeah, the Ginryu is they're gold dragons, and gold is worth more than silver, which is your Ginryu.
Yeah, I think it's 60,000 base for the kings.
I think 45 for the Gin.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah.
So I mean, there's still good XP, but
yeah,
they're not the one you want. Yeah.
But yeah, with 2 King Ryus, if you're at 10 key items, if you're able to life glitch one, you get 180,000 experience for one fight. And I believe that's going to be, I don't think it's the highest experience for a random encounter, but it's definitely the one that it's controllable, that it's safe to fight.
Yeah, I mean, they're the best bang for your buck.
Because I think like the triple red dragon random encounter is going to be, that's a lot more dangerous than the double King Ryu.
Yeah, don't fight the triple red dragons. That would be bad for you.
Meanwhile, Kinda Nerdy didn't make quick work of that ally, is now in that all-important Dr. Luge fight. So it might have taken her a while to get there. She's making progress in the seed, without a doubt.
Yeah, and hopefully everything should come together pretty well for her now after having been treading water for a while.
Ooh, Mecha is heading to Dwarf Castle before going through that barren route. So that's gonna cost him some time here. I think thinking about that warp glitch is in his mind, where bosses should be at the front of his mind at this point.
Yeah, I mean, this should be a pretty quick check for him at this point.
Yeah, and we know King Queen Evelyn is the first one here. It's not a tough fight either. There's a couple other finishes that I don't think we mentioned yet, so I'll bring them up here. Zilch finished 3rd place at 2 hours 53 seconds, and Dragus finished in 4th place at 2 hours 1 minute and 19 seconds. So GG's to them. Wubear, after that grind, fighting Lord British again, and should be much more prepared here.
Yeah, he's got nukes now, which should make a huge difference.
And that HP buff, especially on the Palom, is going to be huge for surviving big bangs as well. And counter nukes. And now Mecha does have the spoon, so we'll see if Mecha's going to be tempted by Edward here.
I mean, I would do it. Yes.
He's thinking about it.
Do it. No!
Oh, no spoon word for Mecha. He was definitely thinking about it, though. That kind of nerdy house.
You were the chosen one. Yes, kind of nerdy housewife is through. So we'll see where she heads first, now that she's underground and poisoned.
We get the squiggly walk. And if you haven't seen the glowing hand for the D-Mist at the golden spot, enjoy it here. Ooh, that was a nasty big bang still.
But should be much more recoverable than before.
Without a doubt. And we keep seeing these reflected magic once again, very similar to Invent's strategy on the final fight.
It really is the way to go.
And there's the flash.
GG Woo Bear.
Fifth place overall for Woo Bear at 2 hours, 9 minutes, and 24 seconds. So big GG's.
Yeah, that is... This has been a seed for people.
Yeah, I think this is one of those where there's a lot more, like, with this version 4 beta, there's so many more options, and the difficulty could definitely be scaled a lot more. I mean, we're still getting used to the flags as they are, but I think this ended up being a more difficult flag set that people may have realized going into.
Yeah, and I honestly don't even think that it was intended to be as bad as this seed came out, because, you know, on paper, this shouldn't be that bad.
Yeah, you were gifted a few of the obligations or the objectives relatively easily, like with it being a hook seed and Dr. Luge being the boss in the Rubicante spot.
Yeah, this is rough.
And we do have a 6th place finisher as well. Flurry 14 has finished in 6th place at 2 hours, 11 minutes, and 6 seconds. So GG's to Flurry.
Yeah, let's see how many people are even in this.
Looks like Mecha has gone to the top of the tower even. It is fighting that lunar boss, and it is the D-lunars up there.
Let's see here. Looks like we are joined by Woobear. GG to you after that.
Thank you.
How are you feeling?
I'm feeling all right, pretty good. It's like my 3rd seed in the past few months, so it was expected to be a bit rusty, and I guess it showed. But yeah, I'm fine with it.
So how are you liking the new beta?
It's really cool. I like it really changes things up, all the objectives and whatnot. I need to learn what a lot of the things are, like wildish chests, like what are those? But I don't know. I'll figure all that out eventually.
Yeah, I feel like it feels like T3.5 if I had to put it in a way to the old ways, but it's complicated.
Or kind of like a wait between T2 and T4. It is a little bit different, and getting used to it. It will take some time and some studying, without a doubt.
Yeah,
I'm liking it.
yeah.
I agree. I think it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I really like it a lot more than, like, T3 always felt really unsatisfying to me. But this way, you know, you can get complete junk, but also you can get some very nice stuff if you're good.
I noticed I was like black armored one chest and like a dragoon spear in the next one, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, it's certainly a thing. And the other thing too, just different availabilities on items. How are you feeling without having any sirens?
I don't like it. I don't. If I can't demachine and I don't have sirens, I'm at a loss at what to do. That's why I was like, screw it, we'll try Zero Mist now, and which is fine normally. I mean, I could do it, but I could not hit those nerfs to save my life, literally.
Yeah, we could tell the timing was just a little off. But if you haven't played that much, I mean, the timing on those things could definitely be rusty. So.
Yeah, I was really good at it before, but no, it was not happening tonight. It was just whatever. Just did a couple normal random encounters and did the no-brainer strat.
Yeah, if you get it so you got nukes and whites being thrown out, then you don't need to worry about a whole lot of else, right?
Nope.
Did you have any other final thoughts on this, on the beta or this flag set or this seed?
Give me sirens and don't tease me with crystal swords like right off the start without seed. Rude.
Yeah, it really did tease those, didn't it?
There was like 2 crystal swords too. And if I would have known, I couldn't buy anything in the beginning because I was like, I didn't have money because of the flag set. But I had this crystal sword. But yeah, no. Apparently.
Yeah, can confirm no Cecil.
Yeah.
Also, I need to figure out to remember to do Dwarf Castle when you have warp, not like immediately before you get warp, and like don't do things like Twin Heart without exit. I don't know. I'll figure.
You'll get back in the groove.
Yeah, when I logged on last night, actually, I started playing again. I saw the beta. I was like, what is all this? And then it's really, really interesting. So well done to everyone working on that stuff. Super.
Yeah, and to that, there's a lot on this new beta. So there's quite a bit to learn, a lot of different new options that are in there. So.
No, I've seen like the treasure hunt mode, like similar to the Final Fantasy 1 randomizer and all sorts of neato things.
Yeah, we did the treasure hunt last week on the. If you're interested, check out the VOD. So
it's good stuff.
Yeah, it was a thing.
Hey, I'm partial to it because I suggested it. So
there you go. I mean, it's popular in the Final Fantasy 1 stuff, so I'm sure it would work here. It seems like it's fun. I'll try that probably next, actually. I'm also liking how the objective thing kind of changes up a lot of the value spots. Like, I don't know, Baron Castle, pretty crappy. But then when you're looking for certain bosses and you're, 2 bosses right there, just kind of increase, like Mad Ordeals, boom, 3 checks for bosses and so on.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it's nice that it kind of changes the meta game, and I think that's what is the most. After playing through those league flags, whether you're in the whether you're playing in the league or the Hopen, and you just had that flag set, and it just felt like it could get the same if you just play it over and over again. This is just so refreshing that things just change even that little bit, and it just feels so much different.
Oh yeah, it's refreshing to the point where I'm like, what do? I don't know where to go. I'll just do everything that I have on the overworld and then go from.
All right.
Yeah, it's just, oof. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank you for joining us, Woo Bear, and thank you for letting us watch your stream tonight.
No problem. Hopefully it was entertaining.
Absolutely, and GG again.
Thank you. Goodbye, friends.
And that was Woo Bear, our 5th place finisher tonight, and our second of our featured runners to complete the seed. We had a couple of finishes while we were talking, or we had one finisher because I mentioned Flurry finished in 6th place. Poydrak has finished in 7th place at 2 hours, 16 minutes, 39 seconds. So GG's to Poydrak as well.
Yes, GG. Looks like we do have 10 people in this race, so really only 2 people in the race finished below 2 hours. This has been a thing.
Yeah, this is a long seed without a doubt. We'll say we see Mecha in the Dwarf Castle, which we know is going to lead to that Legend Sword.
Baron Castle, yes.
Oh, did I say Evelyn instead? It must be a long seed. Oh, it's a dwarf. See, I don't even know the mistake that I made. So, it does look like, regrettably, Kinda Nerdy Housewife has forfeited from the race. Looks like she's run out of time. We'll see if she wants to talk to us. Oh, she says she doesn't. Yeah, she says she doesn't have time for an interview, but she wants to tell everyone that it was fun and to hashtag blame Smavedy. I think that's fair.
Yes, and I have to say that fun is in scare quotes, so which I do not blame her for. She had a rough go of it. She was just starting to pull herself back together. GG to her. Like, well played as far as she got.
Yeah, GG's. And I've got no doubt that she could have finished that seed if she had the time to do it. I mean, the front end gave her some trouble, but she was able to get through it, which was great. Getting over the hump of, like, she had trouble with the Rubicant, was able to overcome it. She had problem with the Odin, she was able to overcome it. She had problem with the Antlion, she was able to overcome it. And I think after those ones, she didn't have a ton that was really standing in her way of completing the seed after that point.
Yeah, like there were no serious roadblocks ahead. I saw she was dealing with the Ogopogo, which, you don't want to have to fight that Ogopogo, but hopefully she would have not after keeping going.
Yeah, it's one of those things. We know that Ogopogo wasn't required. She didn't at that point know that it wasn't required, but yeah.
Yeah, so at that point, she was doing well, and this seed was a struggle for everybody, so
yeah,
it's people don't know what to do when sirens are off the table still. I think that's very clear.
And Mecha is now officially in go mode, got that crystal, and I think probably doesn't need a whole lot of grinding, if any. So, and Mecha found the pass along the way, so it's not going to have to make the walk of shame like our other runners did.
Yeah, he did have a siren in his inventory still that I noticed, so even if he needs a little bit extra, I didn't catch his levels there.
Oh, he got in and out of that menu in a hurry. Well, it looks like if he wants to use that siren, it's not going to be on an egg.
Ooh, 45, 46?
Maybe it will. He's heading back down underneath. So I think he's going to crack that egg.
Yeah, like those are doable levels. Not ideal levels, but that's doable. But not something that I want to do for a caster heavy party.
Yeah, those palums are pretty low level.
Yeah, like at those levels, you can do it just fine with a physical party.
But yeah, this seed was not really supplying you with a physical party. I mean, at this level, Yang is fine, but the seed didn't give you like multiple Yang, which is kind of what you need if you wanted to do a physical party, or multiple like really high level bows for Rosa or something like that. Looks like Mecha did also stack up on those protect rings at Kokol's hut.
Yeah, those are huge on a magic-oriented fight like Zerobus. You get a lot of magic defense off of those.
Like Mecha's thinking about something now. Okay. Looks like he might either want to grind more. Oh, is he gonna rescue somebody?
Oh, what are we doing? Getting a fresh anchor? Oh! Oh!
Are we gonna see Spoonward?
Oh! We're doing it! We're doing it! Are we gonna go slingshot a Spoonward? Are we gonna slingshot a Spoonward? Oh, we're going for Zerks! We're going for Zerks! Yes! 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 I believe in you, Mecha. You got a power shirt. Give him the power shirt. Yes. And that leather hat will do fine. It's stylish. Oh. I believed in you.
If this is D Machine that he's playing, though, you might want to get rid of that curse ring on Tella.
What are we doing next? Where are we going?
He's not going to the big whale. Oh, he's got the Luca key. He might be doing doors.
Door grind! Door grind! No. Oh, he's buying wine! He's buying wine! He's buying wine! Yes! Yes!
Okay, if he's thinking of door grinding, then I see the curse ring. That makes more sense.
Buy the wine! Buy the wine!
Ooh, and
You're at the wine shop! Oh, you're back row glitching, good. Buy the wine. Yes! I believe in you, Mecha. Or are we just gonna do this thing with a level 5 Edward? Oh, we're just gonna do this thing with a level 5 Edward! What was for sale here? I don't remember what was for sale. Oh, silk webs. Makes sense.
Does he have enough items? Well, I guess you could do it with just the. Well, does he have the Star Veil count?
I don't think he needs Star Veils for this. Oh. Yeah, I think he's just gonna Zerk that Edward and everybody else and YOLO this. Because you wouldn't buy a 10 stack of wine if you were gonna Eddie it. Like the solo Eddie thing.
I guess that's true, but how good is that level 5 Eddie, even with a spoon, gonna be? Because he's just gonna get wiped out by Big Bang.
You're gonna get a couple hits in, possibly more than Palamoo's under level would.
Okay, well, we'll see.
I believe.
Well, he does have the big 60 hit points.
Oh, he's berserking that Eddie. Gonna do that before he even gets the turn off, so we're gonna see how well that goes. I believe. I believe. Wine. Yeah, 1100 points, that's fine. Use that
Silk Weld.
Ooh! We're gonna bring him back? No, he was a dummy target, but that's fine. He still got like 3k there, that's fine.
Yeah, I think we're gonna just see Yang and Sid zerking up for the rest of this fight with Rosa healing.
Yeah, no, that's perfectly reasonable. And I mean, you know, it makes sense. If you didn't feel like those Palams were at a level to do anything, yeah, it's faster to do it like this than to level them up. There you go. Ooh, a fast spell. You don't see that happen too often, but there are occasions where, you know, doing the relative agility tweak that fast does, you know, it's a small effect, but if you're in the right spot, it can make a difference.
Baigan likes using it.
I don't know if that's an argument for or against.
It's just a statement of fact.
Yes, he does cast fast. So does Kanatsu.
So does Plague, but I don't think that one count.
No, that explicitly does nothing in that fight. Okay, yeah, he's got this fight under control here.
Yeah, and with those protect rings especially, like, I think even though Rosa might be right around that 2000 HP mark, it's going to be tough to, oh, and then here I'm talking, I better not be commentators cursing. I think it's going to be okay.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean, he's opting to heal even when he's in good shape, so I think he's playing it relatively safe. So he knows he's on the cusp, but he's done what he can.
So that's the double shake, so that means the HP refill has been passed.
Yeah, I think we're in solid shape to bring this bad boy home.
Yeah, everything's looking good here, I agree. And this kind of shows you the power of the Berserk strategy. It's not, even with kind of less than ideal, we don't have Cecil with a crystal sword, we don't have a Kane with a defense sword. We're going through with Yang and Sid. That's your only Berserkers. And you have Rosa with healing, and two Berserkers, one who's pretty good and one who's meh here, and it's going to be just enough. It's going to be fine for getting through this fight.
Yeah, like, there's no real danger here at all. Like, that is the big thing about Berserk, is you wouldn't think it is because you're relinquishing a lot of control over your characters, but in a lot of ways, it's a safety strat. You have to worry about timing and worrying about the status of your reflects a lot more when you're reflecting. Berserking, you've got a lot less to worry about.
Yeah, exactly. There's a lot more that can go wrong during a reflect fight than during a Berserk. Because basically all you're doing is attacking as often as you can. And we've got rocks falling. That's a good sign.
Oh yeah, and yeah, we are in the clear. That did not hurt very much at all. Down he goes.
Yeah, GG's to Mecha.
Coming in 8th place at 2:34.35. GG.
Yeah, and we'll see if we can get a brief interview with Mecha. And just let you know, afterwards, we're going to head to our winner in Venerables channel, who's streaming some Final Fantasy Legend 2, so we'll check that out afterwards. Also, once again, give a shout out Snape D on the restream tonight, and Allegiant Rep on the tracking, and of course my wonderful co-commentator Neon Gray.
So thank you to you as well, Rex Raul, my co-commentator here. And I see that we are in fact joined by Mecha.
Yes, you are.
I believed in you for that, Edward. I believed.
Nah, I thought, I was already there. Might as well. Without being unable to get the kids to nuke, they were essentially nothing. So it was like, okay, let's get something out of that terrible, terrible situation.
That's kind of what I thought when you made that swap and got rid of both of them. Is like they were just gonna be dead weight.
Yeah, so I might as well bring Sid out of Cursed Ring Land. The Protect Rings were very nice. They gave Rosa that extra magic defense that made sure she never went down or even came close.
Exactly.
Yeah, we noticed that. I mean, because her hit points were like right on the cusp there, but that magic defense was huge.
Yep. That's why when I saw them, I was like, yeah, I need to pick those up. I'm annoyed that I didn't get the MP glitch. Not that it mattered. I'm not sure what I did wrong back in the tower. I was trying to get MP glitch with Piggy and whatever the other one was.
And like Toad or Warp?
Yeah, and Toad.
Yeah.
And it just wouldn't hit. It was very annoying.
It can be fiddly. It's annoying.
Yeah. That was really rough. That was.
Sometimes I get it on the first try, and sometimes it takes me like 20 shots in order to get it. So.
Yeah. No, that was really rough. Not really having the punch to get through the Luge, right? Like Golbez at that spot and just not having the punch to overcome him, not having the money to have picked up those silk veils earlier, right? Like because of the quarter money and the half chests, right? Like that early resource strain really made some stuff difficult.
Yeah, and so your routing ended up being quite a bit different than everybody else because you were the one who went to the moon early and everybody else went underground first. So
I figured.
You were the hero that we all wanted because the moon first is always the best, even if it's not the right thing.
I mean, let's say that like Golbez was not a disaster, right? Moon first would have gone very well.
Oh yeah.
Right, like because you had to go to the bottom of the moon anyway.
Yeah.
Right, like to get the spot, right? Like so, moon first would have actually gone really well because I would have had the levels, right? Like if it wasn't for just getting stuck on multiple bosses throughout the seed, you know, some of my rust showing, right? Like so, you know, I feel a little schizophrenic, right? Like there are some plays that I really liked and some that were kind of like my rust is showing, and I mean, but yeah, it was. You know.
Yeah, no, I mean, you did well with a bad seed, because this was, oof.
Yeah, there was definitely definitely rough. And then like when we came back to Earth, thankfully all of the math plays worked out, right? Like I went to places that had 2 items first, right? Like, and it was barren, right? Like, because it could have been down, like, you know, Twin Heart, which we had really early, right? Like,
Yeah. And all Twin Harp was a white spear behind Odin, which no.
So we did see all 6 characters.
Yes.
And it was hot garbage.
Yep.
I never got a bow. Like I had nothing but short bow.
Yeah, like, the best bow I think I saw anywhere was maybe an archer bow.
I agree. I think that was the best we saw.
Yeah, I mean, I would have taken an archer bow because we had Artemis arrows. We could have gotten Sid on the archery train, but not so much. Yeah, no, this is interesting. This was, I don't know. I like this. Like. This mode, or like I liked these couple of extra things to provide a little more wiggle in what was a or like what is, you know, we are fairly familiar with Forge the Crystal flags, right? Like throwing in the extra boss stuff made it interesting, even if the bosses didn't happen to be 2 of them were just right in our way, right? Like we didn't have to search for them. The third one being at the bottom of a moon made what, you know, could have been otherwise a jet-ish seed, right? Like, imagine if that wasn't one of our requirements, right? Like, you never would have had to go to the moon.
Exactly, yeah.
Right.
I think it really makes things a lot more interesting, just how it does change up how you play.
It definitely opens up some more kind of thought. Like, when I chose between Twin Harp and Ordeals, part of it was that, you know, I had the Cecil, but part of it was that it was 3 boss check. Or I didn't have the Cecil, but I had the Crystal Sword. But part of it was 3 boss checks.
Yeah.
Right, like this was like, you know, I that's a high density of checks, right? Like I do need to check bosses, right? So.
Yeah, and that's huge. Even the fact that it turned up dry, that's still 3 bosses that you know it isn't.
And that's the other thing, like going to the moon, right? Like normally it's kind of like a haunted situation, but the moon has, you know, a huge chunk of the bosses, right?
Yeah.
Like, and in fact, one of them was there, right? So yeah, I actually really liked that moon play. I just, little rush showing. A little better prep I could have done. Probably better, but what are you going to do?
Well, GG's tonight, Mecca, and thank you for joining us, and thank you for letting us watch your stream tonight.
Oh, thank you for showing me. By letting me rep the Shira Season 4 coming out names.
We were, you know, I was thrilled to see that. I really need to catch up because I haven't watched nearly as much of that as I should have.
I agree. You definitely need to catch up.
It's like, Shiro was my hero when I was a kid. I don't know why I haven't made the time yet.
You should make the time. You'll be happy. You did.
Yeah.
Natara is just like that too. Natara is like has all the Shiro stuff and then like the new series. So
Yeah. So, well, GG to you. And again, thank you for that, Edward.
I mean, 60 HP. He got in 1101 damage, right? Like he.
No, he did a second hit too for 1300.
Oh, he got the 1300. All right, yeah, that's 2401. Getting the work done.
Better than a dead weight Palom would have done.
Yeah, the Palom would have gotten off a virus, which would have been 1500. So yeah, 2 swings made him better than a Palom.
Yeah, and then of course the Palom would have gotten somebody else killed. So
yes, exactly right, like with the nuke. So yeah, no, yep.
All right then. So I think that is pretty much it for all of us. So again, I want to thank my co-commentator Rex Raoul, Snape D on the restream, and Ali Gerbrap on the tracking. And looks like we're going to be hitting up our previously restreamed Racer and Venerable for some Final Fantasy Legend 2. Or, no, Pokemon trading card game. Let's help them catch all of those cards.
Gotta catch them all. Thanks for watching, everybody.
Good night.